Hey, crypto family. So I know everyone was complaining about Bitcoin consolidating so much and wanting to make a move, but it looks like it moved and it was in the wrong direction. So you can see today everything has tanked, and this actually all happened in a very short time frame. If you actually go to the 5-minute chart here, you can see the majority of this drop that we had in Bitcoin from 6,500 all the way down to a low of $6,005 happened within the span of 20 to 30 minutes. And that's crazy. I mean, to have that many big red candles. And looking at the 4-hour chart here, you can see that, again, Bitcoin was starting to break out of this descending triangle that has been going on for at least a couple weeks. And you can see it went back into that triangle, and then there was a trend, a positive trend. You can see here where it bounced off a couple times, but once it broke through that, that's when we saw it just plummet and go through this support of 62.20, and then it broke through that. You had the 6100 support, it broke through that, and then it went to a low of $6,005. So, but that 6,000 support that has been holding well throughout the year. Now, one thing I wanted to point out today is exactly, why this happened and where we go from here. So if you look at the RSI here, you can see right now it's at a 19. Now, if we scroll back, we can see all the way in June that the lowest that the RSI got was a 15.8. Now, this is when it was plummeting down from its high of 7,700 and it went to a low of 5,800. So its lowest it went was 15.8. So you can see that there is still potential for some more downside on the RSI, but again, it's not too much. Now, if you look at the daily chart here, you can see that right now the RSI is at 35.5, which, still there's some more room to go for this, since the RSI on the daily usually bounces around the 30 mark. The lowest it's gone is about 26.4. So if we check the history and, basically we can see here there is a little bit more room for the RSI to go, but, keep an eye on these 30 levels because that's usually when it bounces on the daily chart. But looking at these support levels, if it does hold, it looks like right now it wants to hold at that 62.20 mark. Now, if it does hold here, then that's very positive. And then if we can continue to rise to that $6,400 to $6,500 mark where there is support, then I do see us continuing on the bullish run. Now, I know everyone's thinking, is this the low that Bitcoin's made, for the year? Now, me personally, I'm cautiously optimistic that it is. I know a lot of people are looking for that $5,800 level. Some are even looking for lower, $5,400, $5,000. So while that's very possible, I feel like there's a lot of things in the works right now and a lot of positive news coming up that this may be the last shakeout before a rally. But again, always set your stops because this market can do anything, as we've seen. So right now the coins, hurting the most, of course, are the top altcoins. You have Ethereum, Ripple down almost 10%, Bitcoin Cash down 11%. A lot of these coins are in the red. Now, if we're looking at Nexo, a coin that I've been very bullish on, and it's up 4% still, while the entire market is down. So again, there are some altcoins that are doing very well in this market. You just have to find them, have some good buying opportunities, and again, use this to your advantage. Now, I mentioned some positive news. One of the biggest things that people are looking forward to is the launch of the Bakkt exchange, which is the Intercontinental Exchange, ICE. Now, ICE, for those who don't know, is basically, it's a global exchange that's the New York Stock Exchange has announced plans for, and they're going to create a Microsoft cloud-powered, open and regulated global ecosystem for digital assets. And basically, what this is, it's going to be sort of a futures market, but it's going to deal with physical Bitcoins. People are actually going to get actual Bitcoin when they are buying these futures, which is something great. It's a little bit different than what other markets have been doing, and it's something to help build investor confidence and to get more investors into the market. So it says, first use cases will be for trading and conversion of Bitcoin against fiat currencies, which ICE notes is currently the most liquid cryptocurrency. This conversion into fiat will enable consumers to purchase any item at their local Starbucks, in which in what will be crypto's debut with the popular chain. And it says, as an initial component of the backed offering, Intercontinental Exchange, US-based futures exchange, and clearinghouse plan to launch a one-day physically delivered Bitcoin contract along with physical warehousing in November 2018, subject to CFTC review and approval. Now this is big because one, it's being backed by the New York Stock Exchange, and two, it does include groups such as BCG, Microsoft, Starbucks, and others. So they're working alongside these companies, and I believe, it's very bullish, and this is supposed to happen in November, so about 3 weeks. So I believe this will be one of the catalysts to help Bitcoin propel, higher as we move towards the end of the year. But again, this is one of the things that people are looking forward to. And, when a Bitcoin ETF does happen, some are expecting February of next year, that I believe that will be the actual time when big investors will start jumping in, because that'll give the confidence and the regulatory need that a lot of people see before they invest in Bitcoin. So another article here covers backed, and again, it reveals first crypto product as physical Bitcoin futures. And it's backed, which I said will be a regulated ecosystem for institutional investors aiming to get exposure for cryptocurrency. So this is definitely big. This is just one step closer to a Bitcoin ETF. And this is very positive news that I'm looking forward to, and I think one that'll help, Bitcoin rise as we move towards the end of the year. Now, last but not least, is an article here by Crypto Daily, and he says, signs that Bitcoin bulls are ready to break out. Now, he mentions backed here, and he also mentions Northern Trust, which is a company that has over $9 trillion worth in assets to come into the crypto space with hedge funds betting on Bitcoin and Ethereum. The president of Northern Trust said, I do believe that governments will ultimately look at digitizing their currencies and having them trade kind of like a digital token, a token of the US dollar, but the US dollar would still be in the vault somewhere or backed by the government. Then you also have Coinbase, which is opening up its custody service, which is aimed at institutional investors, which are aiming to invest. And then Coinbase development occurred during the bear market, so it's still yet to see its full potential. So you have a couple things happening towards the end of the year, and things that have still been in the works. And I definitely believe that a lot of these will help Bitcoin rise in the future. But again, a lot of this movement is here to shake out the market and shake out people who are trading on BitMEX, Deribit, anything where you can leverage high trades. So if you're using 25, 50x, it liquidates people in those ranges. If you're trading on those exchanges, I recommend max 10x if you're experienced. If not, I would say max 5x so that your liquidity isn't as tight and you won't get liquidated on these big candles. So it's just something to keep in mind when trading. But with that, if y'all enjoyed the video, please give it a like, comment if you have any questions, and please subscribe if you haven't. Until next time, thanks for watching.